Hey, this is Andrew Brown, and in this video we're going to explore additional checksums. So the idea is that when you upload a file, how do you ensure the integrity of the file? Well, by default, it's going to use MD5, and so an MD5 hash is delivered alongside with your actual S3 object, and then it's confirmed by AWS, and this happens all by default. There's nothing that you have to do. But let's say we want to upload an object and change the way the checksums work. So let's go ahead and again, have this AWS examples repo. I'm going to make a new folder here, and we're going to call it checksums. And inside here, I'm just going to go and create a readme.md, and we can start getting things out here. So the first thing is that I want to do is create a new bucket. So we'll do here, just put some markdown here so we have some documentation. We'll say AWS S3 make bucket S3 : / we'll say checksums examples AB, that's for my initials, and then just some random numbers. So that's the bucket I want to create. So I'll go ahead and do that. Of course, I have the AWS CLI installed, so this goes really easily. AWS S3 MB make bucket. No such file. Am I not in this directory? Hold on. Let's try this again. Says I already own this bucket. Maybe it did work and it just mucked up. 2434, is that it? Okay, so created. I'm not sure why we got an error there, but clearly the bucket was created despite it saying it wasn't created. We'll also need to create a file. So let's say my file, create a file that we will do a checksum on. And the idea here is going to be, say, echo hello Mars. And I'm going to write that to a file called myfile.txt. Okay, so we'll do this. And let's convert this to a checksum. So turn the get a checksum of a file. And I think it's for MD5. So there's probably like a tool like checksum for MD5 of file. There's probably some Linux command. Linux. Show me something here. I'm just trying to find, yeah, MD5 sum, that's what it is. Because I've seen it before. So if we type in MD5 sum and we supply our file, this is what it's going to get back for us, right? So we'll go ahead and put this code here so we can see. So now we do know that when we upload a file, technically E tags use MD5. So I'm actually kind of curious whether this is going to match. There might be some other additional information that they supply when they MD5. And so it might not be a one-to-one match, but let's go take a look and see what happens. So upload our S3 file, our file to S3. So here we will go ahead and grab our bucket. I'm going to keep it simple and just say S3 copy and say my file to txt like this. I kind of want more information than just the file name. So I'm not sure if this is going to return back to us the E tag. Well, we'll try it anyway. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so it didn't return back the E tag, which is kind of annoying. That's why I should have used the fancier one there, the one by the S3 API, the put object. But that's okay. So I'll go here and we'll just go get that object now. So say AWS S3 API, get object, and we'll say bucket here. And we'll grab this. And then we'll say key. And this will be myfile.txt. And the idea is that we just want to get that E tag. Go ahead and hit enter. Maybe we don't need the double hyphens. Thought we did though. No. Try this again. Get object. In fact, I don't even want the to get the object. I just want the head of the object. But let's go ahead and try this. It's saying something's wrong with my command. Oh, there we go. That's fine. And so now we're getting back that E tag. And so notice that it's 8ED, 2D, 37F. So that the E tag is actually the checksum. So technically, you can do data integrity with the E tag, but you're really not supposed to. That's not why I mean, like you can, but it serves a dual purpose. But let's say we wanted to use some kind of different checksum, right? So we can change that, and AWS actually has a tiny tutorial here. And the idea is that when we upload our files, when we can change our checksum check. And what they're suggesting is that what you do is you say, I'm going to do additional checksums, and then you're providing the pre-calculated value so that they know what to check against when you upload it. So let's see if we can figure that out using the CLI. So we have put object, which is the more verbose one, because obviously CP is not going to be enough here. So okay, we'll say let's upload a file with a different kind of checksum. And let's see if we can actually do it here via the CLI. So looking at our flags, I'm just going to zoom out here so it's a bit faster to find this stuff. What I'm looking for here is some checksum example. Here it is. Okay, so we have algorithm and then some other options here. So I'm going to just jump over to this. Indicates the algorithm used to create the checksum. Okay. So I'll grab this one, flag. And I'm not sure which one we should use. I'm not that familiar with all these other ones, but let's say we get CRC32. I hope I do not regret choosing that one. And so we'll supply that as the example. This header can be used as a data integrity check to verify the data received are the same data originally. So I'm assuming that this is the actual additional string that they're asking for that we want to compare against. So we'll go here and do this. And so what I want to know is how can we do a CRC check? So we'll go here. How can I convert a file to a checksum for this in Linux? And apparently that's the tool we can use. So we'll go ahead and hopefully that is just pre-installed. And I'm going to go ahead and try this. So we'll say my file txt, and we'll paste this here. O is an invalid option. Okay. The option that specifies you want to calculate that. So I'll go hit enter and see what it says. Does not have an O option. I mean, I don't know if this is installed on this machine. It's not, but OpenSSL should be. So let's do that. OpenSSL is almost installed on all cloud developer environments. Again, if you're using your own local development, you'll have to figure it out yourself. But let's go ahead and try this instead. Invalid command does not provide it. So I'm going to go ahead and try to install this. So we'll clear this out, and I'm going to say sudo apt get install CRC32, and it looks like I've been able to install that. And we'll go back here and try this again. So my file.txt. We'll hit enter. It's saying the command is not found. Why did I just install it if the command's not found? Oh, it says unable to locate the package. So, okay, how do I do that? So we'll try this again, CRC32 Debian, because that is what Gitpod is using here. Command. And so I came up with this, although it's a little nasty, should work on most platforms in modern Linux anyway. Okay, is that really what we want to do? Well, let's find out if that works. Hey, if it works, right? Where's the file? How do we supply the file? I mean, that's the string. So here we're providing the string, but that's not for the particular file. So it's not necessarily a good example. I don't really like that. CR32. Okay, let's go ask them. How do we install CRC32 on Debian? Okay, we definitely did that. apt-get install and apt-get are the same thing, or app install. One's just shorter form. So I'll try this again. The only thing I didn't do is I didn't update. So usually you should do that before you try to install things. I was just trying to save myself some time. And that could be the reason why it's not pulling it, because there could be a later one here. No, it cannot find that package. Give me a second, okay? All right, some people are recommending rhash as a package. I'm going to go ahead and try that. So we'll do, well, is it already installed, rhash? No, it is not. So I'm going to say rhash. Yes. I mean, that installed, so that's a good indicator. I can go back here and change it. Really silly that we have to go through so many iterations, but that's sometimes how it is with Linux. And then I'll go back over to here, and this one will do this. I just need the checksum of a single file here, so we'll go ahead and paste this in here as such. And this will be my file. It looks like it can do multiple files if we want. Let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, there we go. So we have our hash. And so now we can go back up to here. And I suppose we're supposed to supply the value here as such, right? So say AWS S3 put object, and we'll want the bucket here, and we'll want the key, and we'll want the body. So the body will be myfile.txt. The key will be myfile.txt. This is going to be the bucket here. I'm actually going to make this one different. I'm going to call this one CRC32 because that other one might still be there. And let's see if this works. Again, never ran this before, but I have confidence that we can get this to work. We'll go ahead and hit enter. It doesn't like something that I've written here. I don't know, but I'm just going to, just to be consistent here, I'm just going to go ahead and kill that out. Say equals, and just wrap these up so they're all consistent. We don't want to give it any reason to complain, so. I think the reason it's not working, I spotted this while writing this here, is because I forgot to put S3 API in front of here. Try this again. Hit enter. Body blob values must be a path to a file. Well, it is. Oh, it's not an actual file. Sorry, I want the key to be called that and not the actual body. So we'll flip that around there and we'll try this again. We'll go ahead and hit enter. And it says the specified bucket does not exist. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure it does. Maybe we lost like a character. Yeah, we lost a number there on the end. So we'll try that again. We'll go ahead and we'll try this. We'll give it a go. So it's saying that the checksum is invalid. So that's interesting. We'll try this again. Okay. If you don't use simple formatting option, then the rhash will default to a different format, and this may not be what you want. Well, maybe it is what we want. So let's go ahead and take out simple and try this again. Generated by the key. The key difference I noticed is that this one is all uppercase. So what happens if we do this? Is it case sensitive? That'd be interesting to find out. Try this again. An error has occurred. Okay. Give me a second, all right? Another idea I have is maybe we can create a file in here in Ruby. Ruby's already pre-installed in here. I'll just say crc.rb. And we can just grab a bit of code here, like zlib, which I believe is a standard library in Ruby, and see if we can get the output here. So I'm going to go here and just say puts zlib, input field value. So I really just want this file. So I'm going to say file.read myfile.txt. And I think that this should work. This is why it's really important to know programming for cloud, because sometimes you got to work around these problems, and coding is super useful for that. So I'm going to type in Ruby and say crc.rb. It doesn't know what zlib is. I thought that would have been built into Ruby. That's totally fine if it's not. So I'm going to make a gem file here. Say bundle init. That'll create a gem file for us. I'm going to say gem zlib, save, and I'll do bundle install. Another reason why you should use cloud developer environments, they already have all this stuff here. So now we'll go ahead and do bundle exec Ruby CRC, so that way it'll know to execute in that context there. I don't want to put zlib. I just want to do CRC32. Was that the error we had before? We probably didn't have to do a gem file. It was just because I wrote the code wrong. And so this is the actual value we're getting. So maybe this is better. So this did not work out. So I can just take this out. So we'll go here and just say bundle exec ruby crc.rb and type clear here. And we'll just try this again. So let's try this value and see if it likes that. We'll try this again, hit enter. No, okay. So we're not really having much luck with this CRC, but we could try another one because SHA I feel like is a lot easier to use. I don't know much about CRC, and I'm gonna have more confidence with something like SHA-1 or SHA-256. So let's try this, SHA-1 instead. And we can still use Ruby for this. Let's say how to calculate SHA-1 using Ruby for a file. And so this one's even easier. I don't think we need to have the gem file here, so I'm just going to go ahead and just delete this. And I'm going to go and try this instead. Say my file.txt. And I'm just going to do this and say puts. And I'll just rename this to SHA-1 checksum. We'll type clear. And we'll try this again. We'll say Ruby SHA-1 checksum. No initial file here. It doesn't like that. I can try this file.path or file.join. So maybe that will work here. We'll try this instead. No such file or directory in my file. Oh, it's not whatever. Let's try this again. Maybe I spelled it wrong. My file.txt. And we'll try this again. We'll type in clear, go hit up. Okay, that looks like something. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this. We'll go here and paste it in here. We'll try this other algorithm. SHA-1, right? Did we replace that in our code? We did, good. And we need to say that this is SHA-1. Please work. I'm going to say SHA-1, and we'll copy it. We'll hit enter. It really doesn't want to work. Okay, give me a second, all right? All right, so as a sanity check, I looked up what it would be to just run it using Linux, and it's producing the exact same thing as our Ruby script. So clearly we have the right value, but it doesn't like something. We're doing something wrong here, and it's not clear as to what it is. So I'm going to carefully read here. This header can be used as a data integrity check to verify that the data received in the same data that was originally sent. The header specifies the base64 encoded for the object. So there's something that is missing here. Is it not base64 encoded? Let's look at the CLI here. You can put the object. I love how it's like, look at the example and doesn't show you an example. That's always great, isn't it? Here's a really complex example here. I do not like this one. This one is yucky. So yeah, they really should provide better examples, but okay, it didn't work this way, but could we just manually upload this and see if it works? So we'll go over here and we have our file, and I want to go ahead and download this. So I'm just going to go and download this to my local computer. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rename it to my file, SHA1. Okay, I'm doing that right here, see? And what we'll do is we'll go back over to here. I'm gonna drag this on in. And then we're gonna go to additional properties here. No, maybe not that. Permissions. Nope. Destination details. No. Usually when you drag this up, oh, we had to go under properties. We just had to scroll down further. So when we're here, we can say additional checksums. We'll use this SHA1 method, and then this is the pre-calculated value. So if it works this way, that means that maybe it's supposed to be base 64 encoded, but isn't this already base 64 encoded? So go ahead and say upload. The pre-calculated value you provided for this object does not match the expected checksum value for the selected checksum functions. Check the value and try again, or leave the field blank, and S3 will calculate the checksum. When you provide a pre-calculated value for a single object less than 60 megabytes, S3 compares it with the value it calculates using the selected checksum function. Okay, let's just provide nothing here and see if it can do it. And it uploaded it, and I guess it must have worked. Okay. So I'm not sure if we're like fundamentally misunderstanding something, but I could have swore. Oh, here it is. Look, here's the value. Why is it so different than what we're looking for? Maybe that is base 64 encoded. Okay, so how about, there's probably like a tool online, like string to base 64. Okay, so we go here, we put that in there, encode it. That starts with a Y. Does this one start with a Y? Going back to S3, wherever that is. W07MF. All right. Okay. I really want to know why that one is different. So let me do a little bit of research, okay? All right, here's something that's interesting. When I'm looking at the SDK, this is Python, and they're writing, well, actually, they're providing the file there. So yeah, I'm not sure. How do we provide the checksum? So here it says, or I can compute the checksum myself. Okay, but how are you computing the checksum? They really should show how they do it so that other customers can do it as well, because I'm still missing that part. I thought maybe there was some indicator there that that was the answer, but give me, I guess, another moment and see if I can find anything. All right, so I tried a few other things like forcing the encoding to UTF-8. I mean, there's a video of a fellow at AWS who's actually able to do it. But if the code is here, I sure can't find it. So yeah, I'm going to say that this is AWS's fault, because it should be this freaking hard to do it. And all the instructions say that I'm doing it correctly. There's clearly something missing in terms of the encoding, but at least we understand what's happening here is that if you change the type, they will automatically do it for you, or you can provide a pre-calculated value. But why I can't seem to get the same results, I have no idea why. Oh, that's okay, as long as we understand how this functionality works. And we spent enough time on this one here, so we'll just call this a wrap, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, ciao.